Manchester United have just drawn 1-1 in the Premier League against Chelsea. And the headline for me is nothing has changed. But before we get into my match reaction, please do me a small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And also, most importantly, get in the comment section and let me know your thoughts on today's game. Were you happy with the performance? Let me know what you think. I'm going to say this. It was one of the most boring games of football I think we've had this season. Chelsea were probably the better side, to be honest. I think a draw is probably fair. When we got that penalty, I thought, luck's going our way. Great, let's get this goal and try and hold down that 1-0 lead. But as Man United always seem to do, we then conceded, 30 seconds later. In the grand scheme of things, drawing against Chelsea is not a terrible result. Chelsea have been quite decent this season. They've won pretty convincingly in quite a few of their games. So, yeah, we didn't lose, which I guess is something. But for me, there's all this hate towards Erik ten Hag. He's gone now, of course. There's no point, talking about him anymore. But the most important thing for me is nothing has changed. These players are still the same. They're still not very good. And I just think that Ruben Amorim has got an absolutely huge task ahead of him. And the one thing I really want to focus on today's show, right, is we've got to give Ruben Amorim time. Because there was this obsession in some parts of the fan base that Erik ten Hag was the problem. Sack Erik ten Hag and everything will be all right. Now, we beat Leicester City 5-2 in the week. We were playing against Leicester City's B team. Leicester City's first team are a relegation team. They're a team that are going to get relegated. They were in the Championship last season. And we weren't even playing against them. We were playing against their backup team, their B side. It was our first team against a relegation side's B team. Okay? We won 5-2. But when you actually break down that game on, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday night, Casemiro scored the best goal he's ever going to score in his career, a wonder goal. Bruno Fernandes scored a deflected free kick. Garnacho, I think's goal was offside. The point I'm making here is that 5-2 score line against Leicester City in the week flattered us. And I think a lot of people seem to think that, Erik ten Hag's been sacked. Everything's great now. We're going to be this amazing side. It was all Erik ten Hag's fault. When in reality, I think, the truth is really staring at us. Should Erik ten Hag have been sacked? Yes, he definitely should have. And yes, we should have moved on to a new manager. So I'm not arguing that point. But this theory that by sacking Ten Hag, we're immediately going to be a good side, there's no logic behind it. And that just kind of reminded me of that today. We were so flat. There was no patterns of play. Garnacho gets the ball and shoots every single time he gets the ball. Rashford, nothing. Do you know what I mean? Across the whole pitch, Casemiro looked, again, like he should be playing in the Saudi League. Xerxes, when he came on, what does he even do? Do you know what I mean? And we've just got to be patient. We've got to back Ruben Amorim. He's got a massive task ahead of him to turn this team into better than what they are now. We're sat 13th in the Premier League at the moment, and I don't think anybody can really argue with that, based on how we've performed this season. In the grand scheme of things, though, as I say, drawing against Chelsea is not the end of the world. It's not a terrible result. I think I read earlier that apparently Man United-Chelsea is the most drawn game in the Premier League. 29 times we've drawn with Chelsea. So, it's not a crazy thing to be drawing. But, I don't think we were very convincing. And if we're going to be very fair here, I think Chelsea probably were the better side today. Maybe not by a long mile, but I think, Chelsea didn't even play well. I thought they were pretty poor, but they were still better than us. Am I disappointed? I'm a bit disappointed, not by how the players played, because they always disappoint me, if that makes sense. I'm disappointed that we got a 1-0 lead, and then we couldn't hold down that 1-0 lead. A couple of minutes later, we concede a goal. And that seems to be one of the biggest things for me, is the mentality issue, where we go a goal up and then a couple of minutes later we concede. Last season, you go away to Galatasaray, you go 2-0 up, and then within 10 minutes, you're 2-2. It happens over and over and over again. And that's why the video title says nothing has changed. Just because there's a new manager, just because Erik ten Hag's been sacked, we've still got the same players. We've still got the same weak players with a weak mentality. You could argue that maybe they're not very good because of bad coaching. That's one argument. Maybe Ruben Amorim comes in and he turns them all into world-class players. And if he does, I hope he gets the credit he deserves, I hope we don't just have this whole narrative of, Manchester United have spent lots of money. It's complete rubbish. We can see that this set of players at the moment are pretty average. There's a couple of decent players, like Mazraoui was very good today. I mean, who else? Ugarte was okay. I mean, okay, there isn't really any standout performers from today's game, was there? Who else would you say performed well? I thought Mazraoui was decent. Who else? I literally can't think of anybody else. De Ligt was okay. Martinez was okay. Casemiro was poor. Bruno was all right. Like, generally, it was just very, very average or below average. Apart from Mazraoui, who I thought did an absolutely amazingly today. Really, really played well. So yeah, let's get behind the team. Let's get behind the new manager. Let's give him the time he needs. I don't want to see people saying sack the manager in 2 games' time. Like, we are where we are. It's a long old road back to the top. A very, very long old road. I would have loved it if we beat Chelsea today. It would have eased the pain a little bit. But in all fairness, a draw was probably the fair result. So I can't really complain. But I'd be interested to see what you guys think about today's performance. Were you happy? Who was your standout players? Who do you think should play in the next game? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let's see what people are talking about in the chat. Malp says Xerxes doesn't do anything. He's such a strange signing. Yeah, that's fair. O'Bright says, nothing has changed, ? That's the most stupid headline ever. With Ten Hag, we would have lost 4-0. What's that based on? We've conceded 11 goals in the Premier League in 9 matches this season. So, in what world do we lose 4-0 tonight? I don't think Chelsea had any chances, really, did they? We've been much better defensively this season than we were last season. So I don't really understand that logic of, if Erik Ten Hag was the manager, we would have lost 4-0. Like, based on what? What else have we got? Mazraoui I thought did really well. Other than that, I thought they were all pretty average, to be completely honest with you. Somebody in the chat says, Ugarte is not very good. I said in the summer when you were crying for him. I said that I didn't think Ugarte was the answer. I said that many, many times. I said I don't think that Ugarte is going to come in and change us from where we are to where we need to be. Like, Tony says, would you do a quick player rating? Yeah, we can do a player rating. Why not? So let's have a little look. Let's start with Onana. I thought Onana was all right. I don't think he made any mistakes. As far as I can tell, he couldn't really do much about the goal. I'd probably give Onana a 6. Mazraoui, I would probably say was like an 8. I thought he was really, really good. De Ligt, I would give a 6. Dalot, a 6. Martinez, a 6. Casemiro, I'd probably give like a 5. Ugarte, I'd say 6. Rashford, 6. Bruno Fernandes, probably a 6. Garnacho, 6. Højlund 6. Do you know what I mean? It's just average. Everyone was average. The only person who really stood out for me was Mazraoui. Manuel Ugarte played a couple of nice balls and at points looked okay, but then the next ball he played, he'd lose it. So, yeah, he wasn't particularly consistent, I don't think. And we've got a massive job to do. We have Sir Ruben Amorim in the chat, and he says, we're just an average team. It's as simple as that. I would agree with you, yeah, 100%. And that's the point I'm making here. I'm not upset about the result. I think a draw against Chelsea is an okay result. It's kind of what I expected. But yeah, it's you just have to change your expectations. Francis Garnacho is too selfish. I would agree with you 100% there, mate. I think Garnacho has had so many opportunities this season to play others in where we would score and he shoots and misses. Like, Garnacho wants to be this world-class player too much. He's trying too hard, and I think it's actually kind of jeopardizing his game, to be honest. I like him. I like Garnacho. He's a good player, but yeah, I just think his selfishness goes a little bit too much. But yes. Somebody says, who is your man of the match? It would have to be Mazraoui for me personally. I thought Mazraoui had a really good game. So yeah, definitely Mazraoui for me. But again, you can let me know who your man of the match is in the comment section. But I'm going to wrap up the video here. Please make sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thank you very much for watching. I'll speak to you all tomorrow morning. Bye for now.